How's it going, YouTube? After doing a comparison as my last video, I have another one. This time we're going to do a comparison between Venti and Kazuha. Wait, if you're watching this video, you're most likely not subscribed. If you don't want to lose a 50-50 and get C3 cheat sheet, then I suggest you subscribe. When it comes to the comparison between Venti and Kazuha in an Ayaka Freeze team, the biggest question I had was, can Kazuha be a better enabler than Venti, even when factoring in him shattering opponents? Once again, I used the potion event as an opportunity to test this, since Kazuha has not gotten a rerun yet, and I was on break from Genshin during his release. Hopefully he'll get a rerun soon in the next couple months. The event had Kazuha on an R1 sacrificial sword with a 4-piece viridescent. The sac sword will semi-replicate his C1 skill reset. On the other hand, I have Venti with the R4 stringless and 4-piece VV as well. Stringless will help improve his damage scaling. With Kazuha and Venti being enablers, VV's 4-piece set bonus is really important. It decreases opponent's elemental resistance to the swirl infused element by 40%. This means my Ayaka and Rosaria's damage can be increased as long as I swirl cryo. When looking at what each Anemo support brings to the team, Kazuha has much more of an aggressive oriented buff, a passive talent that provides the whole team with elemental damage based on his elemental mastery. This incentivizes more on-field time for triggering swirl reactions. Venti is much more utility oriented with a passive talent that provides energy off his burst to characters of the element absorbed. Just a quick note when it comes to constellations, not that I ever recommend wishing for more, however that's what you like to do with your money. Kazuha has much better early ones and more consistent buffs. Venti's constellations are really situational for maximum gain, except for C6, which gives 20% more decreased elemental resistance on top of your VV set. When I mean situational, I mean if your Venti is crit instead of EM, you'll see a higher output. There was a ley line effect during the potion event Sundered Steel, but it didn't factor too much into the result, just something to remember. Also, no potion buffs, so it's all on my teams to do the heavy lifting. When it comes to rotations, there isn't much difference between the two as long as we're excluding Sacrificial Sword if you get a reset. Bursts have the same duration, cooldown, and 60 energy cost. The only noticeable difference is that with Venti you can cast your skill immediately into burst, while Kazuha has some downtime between the two due to the nature of his skill, since it launches you into the air and then you perform a plunge attack. In conclusion for Ayaka Freeze, the results were comparable, with the better score on each stage being dependent on opponent types. Venti is king when he can group up the enemy, and Kazuha is stronger when they don't react to being grouped well. He has it in his kit, but not on the same level. With the direction Spiral Abyss seems to be heading with right now. With the direction Spiral Abyss seems to be heading with right now, Chambers having the Thunder Manifestation, Perpetual Mechanic Array, Primo Gia Vishap, and Mugu Kenki on a floor half, I say that Kazuha would be better with those enemies than Venti. Ayaka Freeze struggles as well, since they can't be infinitely mobilized. This doesn't mean I see Venti being power crept or even a bad character. Let's not forget that just a while ago we had to defend a monolith against multiple opponents. Venti remains an extremely valuable overall team member with an exploration focused passive talent, and the majority of the basic opponents you come across not immune to being sucked up into his burst. Spiral Abyss is meant to be a challenge. If one character remained the best or Chambers didn't change, everyone would find it boring. Sure, it's not easily accessible to the majority of the player base, but when you think of it, 95% of the rest of the content in Genshin Impact is. These comparison videos are a lot more effort to make than other videos, with all the complex mechanics I have to discuss. If the video was enjoyable or taught you anything, it would help a lot to support the channel. Leave a like to help push the video, and if you want to see more Genshin related content, subscribe. If there was anything I overlooked, was incorrect about, or missed, then let me know in the comments below.